All right, guys, we made it back. It's the first day back. We had the 2-hour delay, as I mentioned, but it's time to get loaded up and ready to go. So I'm going to give you a brief tour of what the classroom looks like, ISS and school suspension. We have some maintenance here early this morning, doing some work on some rear doors back here. So you'll hear some of their machinery going on in the background, but this is at real time. So let's get hooked up. Got to actually plug in and get this power up. Right? So we're going to power up. We're going to get everything set up. Got to clock in, do what we do, power up the laptop, get everything cooking. All right? So we're out for, about 2 weeks. We had that break yesterday because the snow or the ice, and we were 2 hours delayed yesterday, but today we are 2 hours delayed. Yesterday turned into a full day of no school, and so it's been bumped to today on Tuesday, 2-hour delay. All right, so plugging in the laptop, clocking in, right? So while this boots up, I'm going to take you around and give you the quick tour on what the classroom looks like. All right, so bear with me. All right, so in order to make this a more enjoyable experience for the students and not just a babysitting event, all right, these are all the things that I have in the classroom that I brought from my world history class that I taught for 2 years, right? And so to give it a feel of academia, and so everything you see here sits in front of a student, so they don't have any excuses, right, to see what's going on, right? So, and we cover all cultures here, right? So nobody should feel excluded, right? And so we cover history in its making. We got our presidents, and in front of each of these categories or cubicles, these students are confronted with history and learning something while they're sitting at these cubicles, right? So this is what we're doing, right, to make sure that this classroom looks like a normal classroom and is not a holding pen for students that need some additional guidance, all right? So this is what the classroom looks like, right? Now what I've done is I've created even a vocabulary situation for all the terms that you'll see on the board, which are, these are the rules, the code of conduct, student code of conduct. We cover each one of these in their entirety, definitions, and or I also have the Constitution down here, because what we're trying to get them to understand is that this, and this is the class activity work that they do here, right? They do this if they don't have any class work, right? But again, around the room you will see this is what they're sitting, this is where they're sitting, and the things that they're doing, right? So this is how this works, right? Keep them busy. During lunch, we have motivation, right? Time. They put their cell phones here, right? This is my workspace, and this is how the classroom looks, right? So you've got a general view. Also, the principal has allowed me, didn't have an overhead projector in here, right? Along with the media specialist provided me with an overhead projector or a projector so I can show videos, YouTube videos here on the board as I instruct and get them to understand the importance of education, right? So this is what we're doing, right? Just giving you a bird's eye view of what this ISS classroom looks like, right? and we keep them busy, right? Now, during lunch, we give them, or I give them a whole 30 minutes, and during those 30 minutes, I break out my actual sound box, and I pump the volume, and on this speaker, they get to watch or during lunch eat and or listen to motivational speaking, right, via YouTube and any other platforms that I see that is providing a positive message for them. Now, in the background, you see is this 5,000 role models of excellence is something I did in Miami-Dade County with Dr. Frederica Wilson, who was in Washington. She was a teacher, a principal, and became a state house representative and went to Congress. So she created the 500 role models of excellence, and it is now turned into the 5,000 role models of excellence. So that mentality, I've been working along with from middle school, elementary, high school students in Dade County for a number of years in that program, and it's excellent. It's still in existence. You can look it up. You can go check it out on YouTube. She's done a great job with motivating young men. I have my tie for 500 role models of excellence, and I have my 5,000 role model of excellence. I've yet to wear it here at this school because it's a whole nother state, but the principle in which this is founded is to motivate young men. And so what I do also is when unfortunately, I have a lot of young ladies in here at ISS at times, and I use that I use other tools to motivate them. There are several videos that I play so these young ladies will have an opportunity to be motivated as well. Everybody, motivation is universal, right? Everybody needs to be motivated. I need to be motivated. You need to be motivated. We get our times and have our time, down times, up times. Life is cyclical, right? It goes up and down. We have our good days. We have our bad days, right? But we have to stay motivated. We have to continue to work to make sure that we do the best that we can and get out of whatever mental ruts we have, financial, social, whatever it is, right? So this is the game plan. And so I'll be getting into a little more in-depth with you and showing you some more stuff as to what we cover, because I cover a lot during the day. We have a sign-in sheet. This is the sign-in sheet, right? They sign in, time in, their assignments. I have another document. This document here is for them we go over this as the rules in ISS. And just let me read a few of these to you so you understand. You are to keep this form with you at all times as you serve ISS. You're not to leave ISS room unless you have an escort. Now we have a pass system where it tracks them and allows them to go out, and some students can't leave the room, particularly if they had incidents with other students. And so it gives a timetable, and they have to have a request from the teacher and or administration to come see them so as not to disturb their classroom. If you are not cooperative in ISS, you may be asked to contact a parent or guardian and immediately begin serving OSS for your previous infraction. So again, you can come in ISS. This is the first step. There are several other steps that must be taken or should be taken before they wind up in ISS. They may get silent lunch. They may be bounced to another class. Just give them a time to reevaluate what they're doing and correct their actions. And then they are sent to ISS via administrator. An administrator will be contacted if there's a disturbance in the class, and the teacher has now, can't control them anymore because they now decide they want to act out. And so the principal or one of the assistant principals will come and escort them and or write them up via one of the 26 student codes that we have. Now, those codes are public information. They're on the website. So wherever you are in the United States, your students or your school system has a student code of conduct. It has information for parents. So this is public information. It's not a secret, right? It's just, of course, most people don't read. And as we know what they say, ignorance of the law is no excuse, right? And so there's a lot of things we don't know and understand. All right, so you can wind up in ISS for what we consider might be a minor infraction, but if you act up in here, I'm not tolerating it. We don't have time for it, and you may wind up in OSS, which could be 5 to 10 days, right? And so students may come in here for a silent lunch at 12 or around lunchtime, depending on what it is, and then they may be in here for a few hours, or a block, or a core, as some periods they call them. So when you receive an assignment from each teacher, record them in the appropriate space on the back. So on the back of this form, for each of the periods throughout the day, if they have an assignment that the teacher has prepared for them, then they need to complete it. Coming to ISS or going to OSS is no excuse not to do your classwork, right? You still have to do that, and the state requires that they be provided with that classwork. So for you to come in here and think that you're going to just lounge and do whatever, it's not happening here, because we're trying to turn some things around in this location anyway. So so when you receive your assignments, and each teacher record them in the back in appropriate space on the form. If required to complete all assignments and return them to the teacher by the end of the day, the teacher will initial the appropriate spaces on the form and verify the work has been done, right? If you have additional, here's my page. You may have additional, and it should say you will have additional work. You will have additional ISS work related to the offense for which you were suspended. This work is also required by the end of the day. So if you finish your classwork, or for that period or that course, some of the stuff I showed you on the table, that work, and also the quiz and tests that I made up related to the code of conduct violations that are on the board. And when they come in, I go over each one of those with each student that hasn't ever been here before. And should they repeat offend and come back, then they have to write each of those 25 down by hand on a sheet of paper and turn those in to me. And I collect those and keep a stack of classwork that's been done during this period or during the day. If you do not complete all your assignments for all of your classes and the ISS assignment, you may be required to serve additional term in ISS. So you need to do your work. You need to do what's required. And if you didn't feel that you wanted to do it in the classroom with the teacher, you're going to do it here. And if you don't do it here, then you're going home, right? And this is the process, right? It's fair and equitable. Everybody gets it, right? You are not permitted to talk or write notes with other students while you are suspended. You are suspended from the normal activities of the day. Your extracurricular activities, it can affect your sports, your clubs, whatever it is that you're participating in. You can't be rewarded for bad behavior. And so if you can't comply with what teachers are trying to teach you and control yourself in the classroom, how can we trust you in some activity, or going on a road trip, or going to another school and participating in a game, not getting in a fight, not, being able to control yourself, doing something that makes the school look bad and give the school a bad reputation. You cannot have a cell phone with you out at any time during the day, and that applies to in the classroom. During instructional time, you are not allowed to have your cell phones out. And students are attached to these cell phones, as most of us are with social media, right? And they've got it 24/7, but you can't have it out. They're recording teachers, they're recording fights, they're recording all kinds of things that they shouldn't be recording. And I'm telling them that these things will come back to haunt you. So you cannot have any food or drinks in ISS. So what we do is we will eat in here, because they can eat in the cafeteria, but because they're waving at their friends and they're like laughing and giggling back, right? We get our lunch. We usually go to the first serving and come back in here and eat during that 30 minutes. I allow them, that's the only time that they can allow to put their head down and kind of regroup, right, after their meal, while I'm playing some motivational, inspirational videos. And so it seeps in whether they're paying attention or not, but that's the only downtime they'll have during the day, all right? You will eat lunch in a special section of the cafeteria. Should we stay in the cafeteria for whatever reason, we'll put them in a special section or in a section away from everybody else, because this is not a social event. Everybody's waving, And so what I usually ask their friends or their partners, I said, would you like to join them? And the answers are resounding, no, I don't want to join them. And so a lot of the students come in, I question as to, why are you here? What did you do? Well, I didn't do anything. That's the biggest thing. I didn't do anything. Okay, so then we go into the litany of examples from the board, examining why they're here and how they're going to change their behavior. Now, do they come back? Yeah, I had students come back and forth, right, a couple times. So, and you wonder why. But eventually they'll get it. And I've seen a large turnaround in some attitudes with a lot of the students. So things are looking up. And it's a process like everything else. When we were in school, we learned not to do certain things. We got in trouble every now and then. And hopefully we didn't keep doing the same thing over and over again. And the big thing is, what is it? The sign of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, right? So nonetheless, we're back. This is a full day. Well, not a full day. Matter of fact, the students will be arriving shortly. The delays, the roads were pretty clear. And I did see some slick spots with some what they call black ice on asphalt. So those are today is a lot better than yesterday. So it would have been unwise and unsafe for them to continue to go ahead and have school yesterday, even with the 2-hour delay. So they did the right thing. The sun's out today, tomorrow, and Thursday, but I think we are looking at bad weather again on Friday. I don't know whether that'll come in Friday, early Thursday morning or not, but that's what's going on, right? So we're back in the grind. So let me go and once again take you around and give you a look and see of what it looks like. So again, all of these regulations up here, all these rules, codes on the board up here is what I cover constantly, right? We go over all of these. And again, I said, these are all public information. So I had this information laminated, right? And I've got, like I said, I've got a clear viewing of historical facts and people around the room that reflect the students of all cultures, right? And at each of these cubicles, they have the opportunity to, in front of them is presented some sort of information that even if they're daydreaming, right? These are the expectations, right? So even if they're daydreaming, we've got them focused on some sort of history or something that's going on. And again, let's take a look at what's happening right here on my desk. This is the classwork that they must complete, right? Or the classwork that they have completed, all right? So with that being said, I've got an incoming call that I can't take right now. But anyway, God bless, have a great day, and welcome back. Welcome back, Carter was one of the series back in the day.